Hello.
Okay, welcome everyone to Hacky Hour, Always Coding, Always AI's weekly Hacky Hour. I'm gonna give people a couple more minutes to come in, but as they do, I just wanna remind everyone, if you haven't been to one of our Hacky Hours before, that it's a pretty fun, informal setting. So if you have questions, you can raise your hand at any time. And you could put your questions in the Q&A. So please do that. We'll try and pause and check for those questions as often as possible. And if you haven't been to Hacky Hours before, this is kind of a continuation of some of the Hacky Hours we did leading up to the holiday season. So we did Package on a Doorstep Part 1 and Part 2 for the holiday season, detecting packages on your doorstep. And this is Part 3, and I have one of our software engineers, Taiga, with us today. So he's going to go into some details about some new features that he helped create for the new package monitoring system that one of our end users, who is here today, hello AB, he created using a new camera, and the Always AI tool now allows models to be run on that camera. So I think we'll get started here. As you may or may not know, usually we like to kick off these Hacky Hours showing how you can get started with Always AI. So that is what I'll do first, just in case you haven't done that before. And here we have Steve. Steve's with us today. Welcome, Steve.
Hello.
So we're just going to get started showing people how to use Always AI, get signed up, get the CLI downloaded, and create a project real quick. So let me share my screen. Okay. So here we have the Always AI site. If you go to alwaysai.co, you can see right here we have our dashboard. And if you go to your dashboard, you will see your projects, models, collaborators. So you can create a new project. This is going to take a second. Here we go. So I have created a project already. Here's my Hacky Hour project. But if you want to create a new project, I'll show you how to do that in a second. First, I want to show you that once you go to this project's dashboard, you can see again that you can download the CLI. It knows that I'm on a Mac. So if you haven't downloaded the CLI, you're going to want to do that to be able to run a new project. And once you've created a project, you can copy this code right here, which will download the proper project settings for the project you've created. So first, let's go back to our dashboard and do new project. So when you do a new project, you can pick from some of these starter templates. Since we're doing package on a doorstep that revolves around object detection, we're going to do object detection project, and you can create your new project. So I've already done it. I've already tested out that my project worked. So I'm going to do a new share and show you guys how to set that up in the CLI. Here we go. Okay. So here I have some of my Hacky Hours. I made a new directory, so you can do that on a Mac. Make dir test would be the new test directory. So I made it for our Hacky Hour iCloud here. So if we go into that directory, we can see that we have all these files, the virtual environment, the doc file, app.py. The way you get those is by copying this project code into your terminal and running that command. Once you configure your project, it will prompt you for some settings. And you can always reconfigure it afterwards by doing AI app configure. So the first time you do it, it'll ask if you want to download some files. So you're going to want to say yes to all of that because it's a brand new project. And this time it found the alwaysai.app.json and alwaysai mobilenet. Those are the models. So it already detected that some files were there. But if they don't detect it, it will ask you. And then after it detects those files and sets them up, if not, it will ask you where you want to run it. And I just wanted to run it on my local computer. And then you do AI app install, and that will pull the models down and build the virtual environment. And that can take a minute or two, which is why I already ran it. And then finally, you do AI app start. And you go to localhost 5000. And you can see I'm live, and Komal does it better. She has the potted plant. I don't have any potted plants. I'm sorry. But that is how you get started. So I'm going to just see if we have any Q&As. Hello, AB. He says hi. Hi to everyone here. Great. And so I'm just going to talk a minute about what we're going to go over today. Refresh some of maybe your memories if you don't remember what we did in the past Hacky Hours, or you weren't here for those Hacky Hours. So the very last Hacky Hour we did was a trivia one, and that was a lot of fun. And some of the stuff from today might be on the next Hacky Hour trivia. So you always want to make sure that you ask really good questions and find out as much as you can about the content, especially the stuff Tyga's going to go over, because you never know if you could win a Hacky Hour trivia the next time with that. So the 2 weeks before that, we did a Hacky Hour with Todd. And what he did is he showed us how to train a package detection model. He had a really cool setup with 2 cameras. He collected a bunch of data showing different angles, different lighting. It was a really good Hacky Hour, I think, because it showed how to train a model that's maybe a little bit more complex, not your average object detection, really needing to maybe test the model after you've trained it and go back and add some more data, tweak it. And he answered some really good questions about the types of issues that can come up with that: lighting, time of day, weather, different types of packages, different label classes, labeling everything the same package versus different types of packages. Do you put a bounding box over all the packages if they're stacked? Will it be able to tell the difference? And part of that depends on the use case that you want. So the second week, we actually made a use case, a package monitoring system. And that was something that I developed and that Todd and I tested and kind of tweaked. So the second week, we went over how you can kind of compensate in your application for some model, maybe deficiencies is a harsh word, but I can't think of a better one right now. But, some different parameters you can tweak within your application, and some of the features in Edge IQ, the alwaysai API, that can help you kind of get your application up to the level you want without necessarily having to retrain the model for small changes. So that's where we've been today. What we're going to do is I'm going to give you some links all to those past Hacky Hours that we've done, including a couple others that I haven't talked about yet, and to AB's repo, and a link to this demo video that he did yesterday in our webinar. So if you didn't join the webinar yesterday, the link is up on our YouTube channel, and you can see kind of where AB's project fits in like the scope of why we're showing this whole pipeline from start to finish with Always AI. But today, I'm going to walk you through a little bit more detail on the README and show how it kind of fits into the broad scheme of our pipeline. And then Tyga is going to talk a bit about how that was accomplished on the Always AI side and the general sort of idea behind what was needed to do that, what are some difficulties with that, any other topics that he thinks are relevant to that. So stop me at any time if you have any questions. I'm going to put these links right here in the chat for you guys. So there's the link to AB's demo video, which I'm going to go through first. That way you can kind of see the broad context. And then some of the stuff that AB did to make his application fit that full pipeline is to use Balena. And we've had a Balena Hacky Hour before. I didn't put the link in the chat, but it's up on our YouTube channel, which is just Always AI on YouTube. So that's another really cool feature that you can use to take your one app and scale it to multiple apps pretty easily. So first let's just watch that video. 1 second here while I share my screen. Okay, so you can see here what he's done is he's used this Balena push command, and that takes any local changes you have on your original app, like the master app, and it will push it up to this Balena cloud. And if you didn't join the Balena Hacky Hour, what you do to set up Balena is you create an account. It's free. You set some network configurations and you flash an image. And then any extra devices you add, you choose the same application. You can choose new network settings for different edge devices, that will be around the world. And you flash another image. Anytime you plug that SD card back into your edge device and boot up the device, it will automatically know to sync to this Balena cloud. You don't have to have any, it's a headless usage. So that's pretty cool. And then you'll see it working on the Balena cloud dashboard. Then if you want to make changes to all of your devices that you've set up, all you need to do is this Balena push package monitoring iCloud. That was the name that he had given. And it will make the app changes, the programmatic changes, be pushed to all those devices. So we're very edge focused here at Always AI, but this is one example where you can use the cloud to periodically update. You don't need to have constant back and forth flow for the updates, but then you'll see later once this finishes. And this is just, AB included it to show you that this is all done with a couple commands. You just set it, run, and then you'll see the results on the dashboard. But this shows that with a couple command line changes, you can then scale your whole application really easily and make those updates propagate to all the other devices without having to manually change every single one. So that's one part of the pipeline from taking your application from a local like hobbyist point to more of a production level environment. The other component of that is the camera. So Always AI integrates with a few different cameras. General web cameras, of course, but also the RealSense and now the iCloud. So this application is using the iCloud Camera, and that was the other part of the production environment that we'll talk about later. So you can see that finally finished. Now we're on the dashboard. You can see some magic happening in the terminal here. The next thing he's going to do is copy this IP address. You can see, I don't know if you can see my mouse moving. And then that is the IP that you use to view the actual application working and seeing the results that it sees. So he's copying that, he's putting it into the URL, into the localhost. Now what you're going to see is him running the application. So this is on the side, the left here, this package alert. That's one thing we talked about. I'll talk about that after the video. He's put down a package. He's just going to show you that this is how the app functions. It detects false negatives, sorry, is that the right way to say it? If you remove a package, but you put it right back, or if it just moved a little bit, the app doesn't want to do alert fatigue and actually send a push alarm. So these are different types of alerts you could send. Now you see it actually has removed the package. There's no more package there, so he wants to send an alert. And the next thing he's going to do is he's going to show it with two packages. So the first package is there. It's fine. It alerts that it's there. In a minute, there will be another package. There we go. And then he's going to just remove one. So it shows that it's sensitive enough to detect that one package has been removed. And again, that was more of a decision point on my part when I was building the app. So that was the use case I defined. You might define a different use case. You might define that you don't want to send alerts. Maybe you want to use a different type of application. We mentioned Twilio in the past. Other people had really cool ideas, setting it to turn on lights or record a video, take a snapshot, maybe play some audio to scare people. So that's one part you can alter. And now I'm going to show you the actual repository. So that is the third link. The first link is the repo that I put up. So if you want to fork that, clone it, do whatever you want with it, or if you want to try it out and tell me if I have any bugs or something, you can always make a pull request. Let me know if anything is different. Okay, so this is AB's repo, and as I said, it's in the chat. So this is the main folder that you're going to want to work with, and he has a really detailed README. We're not going to go into it completely in depth. He just didn't get a chance to show it in the webinar, so this is a way to just let you guys know it's there. We have all the steps you need to get started on the first part 1 and part 2, training the Hacky Hour, and then obviously app.py and package monitor.py. Those are the base code that we developed for you. So we've also prepared a tiny data set. You can use that data set and get started with collecting your own images, adding to it, or if you just, it's hard. We've mentioned that it's hard to collect package data because it's outside. Maybe you don't have a great camera. Maybe you live in an apartment building with a hallway, but you still want to try this whole workflow start to finish. So you can start by downloading this data set and using the training tool. And then you can annotate your data, train your model. All the way down here, this is where AB's changes start to take effect. The part that Tyga is going to talk about is the actual conversion after you've trained your model. If you want to use it on an iCloud camera, it needs to have a bit of transformation done. So I'm not going to talk about that yet. I'm going to leave that for Tyga to cover. But then after you've converted it, everything goes back to the standard Always AI workflow. You just publish it as usual, and all your project stuff works the same way. Configure, install, start. So that's a little bit of a catch up, and also to show you where this Hacky Hour will fit in the general kind of like, flow of all the other ones. If you have any questions on this repository, maybe the mobile app part, if you're not super familiar with that, you could replace that with something you're more familiar with, like the lights or a sound file. There's lots of stuff on GitHub, the Always AI GitHub. Different apps have used different features. So Eric's app on the snapshot security camera, that would take a video or an image, sorry, upon a certain action. Or you could use the Twilio app to use Twilio instead if you wanted. Or I have a couple apps, the posture corrector for the Mac and the gesture control. Those tell you how you can use sound files and like the types of libraries you need to import. So that part is really flexible. And if you have any questions on AB's mobile app, he has graciously offered to answer questions on Discord. So you can always reach out to him or any of us on Discord if you have questions following up with this. And if you're interested in the iCloud camera, you can reach out to us. We have a partner page, which I also linked in the chat, that you can see some of the discount bundles we're offering for using the camera and the Always AI. You get a little bit of extra support. But if not, the stuff that Taiga is going to go over is still really interesting, and it's applicable to the other types of how we integrate other types of hardware and how we do other types of integration with different libraries and models and whatnot. So I think we're doing okay for questions. If anyone has any, if anyone wants to ask a question live and stuff, you can always raise your hand. So I think at this point, I will hand things over to Taiga to talk a little bit about how the iCloud stuff fits in and any cool things he has to mention about that.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Lila. And let me go ahead and share my screen. Could you enable me to share my screen? Thank you. There we go. Okay, and then, oh, sorry about that. Just Mac asked me for permission, so that's good. All right, cool. So yes, the iCloud camera and the Always AI platform. So kind of quickly going over some of the stuff that we talked about today and as well as yesterday's webinar. So the iCloud camera is a production grade camera, and what it is a camera with a integrated Myriad X accelerator. So it's a little bit different. And then, Always AI, what we do is provide a production grade software environment. So if you couple those two things together, hopefully we will, enable you guys to get to production faster. So that's what that is. And then, if you're interested in that, you can head over to our site. We have power bundles and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into that here, but yeah, we also have that, just so you guys know. But yeah, so today I'm going to be going over the model conversion step. It's a little bit new when working with the iCloud cameras on our platform. The models need to first be compiled to a format that can be pushed into the accelerator, the Myriad chip. So yeah, so let's just kind of do the first step here. I already did the first step before the webinar, the Hacky Hour. So I already trained the model, and I have this here, so we could kind of, I'll just run the conversion command and then kind of go over what that is doing. So the conversion command is this here. We have this AAI model convert. This is a new CLI command. And so we can see that. So what it needs here, so I'll just fill this out as it goes. So the first thing is going to be the model that you want to convert. So let's say in this case of our model retraining tools, we have this, it just created this model here. So I'm going to go and copy that. And so that's going to be the first parameter here. And then the other flag parameters here. So we have format, and what we want to do in this case is fill in iCloud. And then we're gonna do the other one here, which is just the output ID, and that is the ID of the new model, or the converted model in this case. And so I will put Hacky Hour here. And an important thing to note is that we auto prepend the username to this, and so we're not doing any error catching on that, but that's gonna come soon. But if you do prepend your username, say in this case my username is Taigashida, it could throw errors in the publish command, so that is good to know. And so I'm going to run that here. And so while it's converting, I'll kind of go over what that is doing underneath the hood. So so this graph kind of shows one half of the steps. So at first we did the model retraining here. So that's the left side here, train a model. And we did that using our model retraining tools. And then next, so this conversion tool is doing this run the model optimizer. And what that does is get the model that you trained into a intermediate representation. And what that is doing is basically replacing some of the layers with different high-level layers that are more optimized, that the Myriad accelerator can run more efficiently. So that's one half of it. And I couldn't find a chart that shows the other half, but basically, the compile step loads it into the inference engine, and then outputs that loaded model in the binary format. And so those are the two things that this convert step does. And we can see here that it has finished. So yeah, so let's see if we can run this model, the one that we just made. So let's see, I cloned this application. So the starter app is on the GitHub repo, on the Always AI GitHub repo. So that's where you can find this. And yeah, so we're going to first do model add. So basically, we're going to do the app models add command, and it's going to be Hacky Hour, right? And then local version. So then that just added the model from the local cache onto our application environment. And then what I want to do here is just change that to yep, and that looks good. And so I can configure this. Let's say Hacky Hour. And I am going to choose the remote device here. And then app deploy. So you can see it's installing that new model that we just converted here. So that's good. And then it's taking a second. So yeah, that's done. And then we can do start it, and hopefully it uses the model that we just compiled. And so that's running. And if we go to the localhost, I trained this model with one step, so it's not accurate, but you can see it's using the new model that I just converted. And so, yeah, so here basically I just covered, going from the model retraining and then using that model locally. But there's also, you can also upload this model. So if I want to upload it, I would just do a AI model publish, and then yeah, so that should publish the model that I just converted. And yeah, so that's, now if we go to the dashboard, I should be able to see it, but let me see if it's here, models. I think I am on the development dashboard, so I might not be able to see it here, but yeah, it's not going to show here, but yeah, so basically with that command, that's going to be on the dashboard. And yeah, so that's how you can convert a model from our model retraining pipeline into a format that then you can use onto the iCloud camera. And yeah, one thing I should mention before I pass it back over to Lila is probably that this AI model convert command can only work with models that have been trained or with our model retraining tools. Yeah, so that's about it. And
Cool.
yeah, so I'll pass it back over to Lila.
Thanks, Taiga. Yeah, that's really cool. So if you have any questions about, the process that took, or types of models to use, or anything like that, now is your time to ask them. We've got Steve and Taiga here. This is a pretty easy hacky hour to kind of ease into the new year. Okay, so AB is asking, what is the Openvino version for default Edge IQ container? I think Steve or Taiga, do you guys have any idea about that?
Yeah, so the default version is, I believe we are on Openvino 2020 R1 at the moment. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's indifferent from the Openvino that, so if you want to go and compile the models yourself for the iCloud camera, the iCloud cameras are, in our environment, are running 2019 R1.1, and I'll put that in the chat just so that's good to know.
That's correct, Tag, on the versioning, you're correct. So.
And AB updated that to say, if I want to run anything for neural compute stick. Does that change the answer at all? I don't know.
Can you give the context? Are you just asking version numbers?
Here, I'll I mean, if you want to talk, you can talk.
Hey, hi, Steve.
Hey, AB.
Yeah, so the question is like, 1 second, okay? Just hold on. Sorry. Yeah. So the question what I wanted to ask was, if I want to run anything with NCS stick on my custom trained model, like I suppose if I use the custom model training kit, I train an open mobile net SSD model, and then I want to run that model on an NCS stick. Okay.
Yeah. So all you have to do is put in for the DNN configuration parameter in our docs. You just put in Openvino, and that is we compile the model at runtime. Go in and it will work on that back end. So,
okay.
You should be fine on that. It's the iCloud and its Myriad implementation that adds the extra step and so forth. And OpD, I think, behaves similarly too. That we'll have to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Then it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
The NCS2 we actually worked on like in 2018 and so forth. So we got it very much integrated into our system and so forth back when it was a Myriad system. It was called, but Myriad was bought by Intel. So
yes, Movidius was bought by Intel.
Yeah. You're right, Movidius. So there you go. On it.
Yeah. Okay. No, that answers the question. Yeah.
Thank you for coming on and asking. I was getting confused on the context.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah. No, because like there were some questions which I got from yesterday's that if they wanted to run it from, so I was not sure. I said that I answered the same thing, that if you put DNA underscore Myriad, but I got a little confused. Maybe those models are already converted in your cloud, and for custom training that will not work. I did not try it, so I said I will get back to you tomorrow. So yeah. So that was a question from one of the attendees, I think, who reached out to me.
Yeah. Thanks on that.
Thank you.
I guess Philip has a question too. For Openvino, I need an XML and BN files. Okay. Yep. And they're independent from Openvino version. I don't know. on that. I think they are. So far I haven't seen any, they've been pretty true. And again, you have two ways you can run that. You can run, with our standard interface or inferencing engine within our APIs and just, again, say Openvino, and it can handle XML and bin files. And then, Tiger, I'm going to let you step in. XML and bin files can be also handled, are handled in the process you're talking. Is there any steps they need to do if they have an XML and bin file?
Yeah, so you could try to, if you already have the XML and bin file, maybe it's best to try and just run the Myriad compiler that Openvino tools have, or you could try to, at this point, there's no way to dump just the intermediate representation. So basically the XML and the bin file is the intermediate representation, and there's no way to dump those directly into the conversion as of now. And so also one thing to know is that the optimization step is also versioned. So the 2020 model optimizer might not be compatible with the 2019 model optimizer and so forth. So that's one thing.
Absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Because if you remember, Tiger, right, I gave you a blob file using MobileNet SSD2, and it was compiled for 2020 Openvino toolkit, and that did not work on iCloud because iCloud firmware is based on 2019. So the blob which I gave is actually just a combination of bin and IR compiled using Myriad compile. And yeah, so they're kind of coupled tightly with the base version what they have been running. So yeah,
correct.
And again,
maybe
we should
one thing to know.
Maybe we should let Philip come on. I want to make sure we cover his question. I want to make sure I understand like AB's if he wants to come on and ask the question. I don't know more out. We have people. Oh, there we go. We got Philip here. Philip, I don't know if you want to ask it.
Yes. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. This is Philip. Yeah. So I've been working with Openvino for a long time. So what happened is that one of the settings is very important. That is the precision. So if you want to use a different type of hardware and so on, that's very important. For example, if you use the neural computer stick, for example, they wouldn't allow to use like a 32-bit precision. So you need to go down like 16 or 8. That's the reason why when you do the optimization conversion to the IR, you specify what is the precision you want. So it's that's FP. So that is the key. So but the version it doesn't make any difference at all. So that's the reason why they try to use this IR in between, so they can make it usable. So if you design some model like 2 years ago, your model still will be able to reuse. So that's the whole idea.
Okay, good.
But the setting is the important. In the old day, old version, for example, they only have a variable for the 32-bit or 16-bit. That's why some of the new hardware right now, they cannot take the 32-bit. That why it didn't work. But the new version of the Openvino today, they allow to up to 3, right? So they have a 32-bit, 16-bit, and 8-bit for the embedded system and the computing stick. Yeah. So that's the key.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Just to add that, like, well, I'm 100% sure that we used FP16 because all the cameras, most of the Myriad X cameras, they don't support 32-bit for sure. They only support FP16. So this model, which I passed it on to Tiger for testing on iCloud because I did not have iCloud Camera at that time, and that model works on OAK-D. OAK-D also is a similar Myriad X camera as well. And it works fine on that, but that same model did not work on iCloud Camera because it was giving an incompatibility issue, and it spit out a warning from the SDK that it needs to be 2019 Openvino, which Tiger mentioned, the base version for Openvino. Yeah, I had the same impression because I was working with NCS stick, and I was thinking that the model can be trained. Same what you told me. I had the same impression, and I was stumped to see that that model was not working. I think I should need to go to my Intel friends, like, what's this about? I think I will get the answer for that for sure.
Yeah, and they do have a table. So in the table, they can tell you right away which version can support the format for which camera embedded processing. So some embedded processing used inside camera that won't be able to use any higher precision.
Okay. Thanks, Philip. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good, Philip. And just for clarification for me, it will support int 8 too, right? You said, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. Thank you. Yeah, because like AB mentioned, right now the conversion tool is converting to like floating point 16. But yeah, that's good to know. So thank you for sharing that.
That's good info.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions about general model stuff or how to use Always AI, if you have any questions about projects in general or anything for AB on his project, now is your time. Otherwise, I think we'll wrap up a little bit early today. It's, the first Hacky Hour back of the new year. So we'll take it a little bit. Everyone can ease back into their project development. Yeah, so great. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. If you have any other questions, come to our Discord channel. All of our GitHub repos have links to the Discord channel, and I can post it on our chat here in case you guys don't have it. Let me do that real quick. Here it is. So yeah, if you have any problems, issues, questions, you can always reach us there. And if you have any requests for upcoming Hacky Hours, put them on there too. We'd love to hear what kind of stuff you're interested in. And thanks so much for joining. And thanks so much to Taiga and Steve and AB and Philip. Thanks so much for joining in and asking your questions.
Thank you, Laila.
Thanks. Okay, bye,
Thank
guys.
you, everyone.
Bye, Steve. Thanks.
Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
all. Bye, Steve.
Bye.